I am fuming. I'm absolutely raging right now after watching that match. Now then, Tigers, how are you doing? I hope you're all doing well. Such a stupid question. You're not going to be doing well because you've just witnessed Hull potentially bottle the playoffs after drawing 2-2 with Leicester City. Yes, we've relegated the Foxes, but it's not in the way we should have done it, or the way we would have liked to have done it. And not only do I have so many questions, but I have so many things to just sort of get off my chest about this absolute collapse that we've had ever since returning from international break. We're now winless in 5, and all of a sudden, we're starting to draw matches, and it has to come at the end of the season, doesn't it? It couldn't have been, during the season. Another thing as well, we can't keep a lead. We cannot keep a lead now to save our lives, especially, again, returning from international break. We took the lead against Oxford. They equalised. We took the lead against Sheffield Wednesday. They turned the game around after we were down to 10 men. We took the lead against Birmingham City. Oh, that's right. We conceded to them. They equalised. We took the lead against Leicester City. Miraculously managed to bottle a 1-0 lead against a team who are basically relegation bound, and have managed to come out with a point, even though we should have really been coming out with 3 points. In this video, I'm not going to be doing player ratings. I'm going to leave that for another time. That's going to be for another video. This one, I want to solely focus on what happened in this match and how it ended as such a disaster. Because let me tell you something, the first half really wasn't that bad. I know Leicester had a couple of 1 or 2 good opportunities. The first half, we did take the lead. We took advantage of Asmir Begovic's mistake, a terrible pass he made, which Miller was aware of. He intercepted it, dribbled with the ball a bit, found the far corner, scored 1-0. Great. Brilliant start, just what we needed. There was also a chance in that first half where I don't know if it was Giles or Miller that played the ball across, and it went just a bit behind Tree, and he has to try and do like a flick or some special kick of the ball basically to try and score. And it almost works, but it goes straight at Begovic. He saves it. And that was the 2 best opportunities that Hull really had. One of them they did manage to score. So I was happy with the first half. Now I won't lie, I missed the first 15 minutes of the second half. When it was half time, I decided to go downstairs, watch a bit of Corrie. I thought I'd catch up on what's going on in the cobbles. Turns out that was a big mistake because it felt like I was missing, and as if Hull were missing the manager, which they were, because Sergei Kirovic got sent off, and I don't know what it was for, but I imagine it was for the flipping penalty that was given, and a lot of people I've seen online are saying that it was a very harsh decision from the referee. Shock! All these penalties that have been given now against Hull are just truly harsh decisions, and they're just too soft of fouls to be given as penalties. I'm absolutely fuming at the fact how we keep giving away penalties, but sometimes it's not even our fault because it's the referees. And I keep saying this, the standard of referees this season, not just in the Championship, but in the EFL as a whole, have been absolutely terrible, and they need sorting out. They need improving, because it wasn't just that penalty decision. That multiple times the referee would make just silly decisions for fouls and free kicks to be given when, just clearly he's making the wrong decision, and he must know it. There was a point where I can't remember if it was Mavididi or Fatari that was through on goal. Maybe Jordan I on top of my head, I can't remember. But I remember one of the players was through on goal, and they dived just before they took the ball past Pandor. They literally dived as they took the ball past Pandor before hitting against him, and Pandor gets a booking. The linesman doesn't even see it, yet the free kick is given. Panda luckily gets a yellow. I'm actually surprised he didn't get a red, to be honest. But yeah, it was just a really nice feeling how after I, come back upstairs after watching Corrie, feeling quite nice about how Hull are doing at half time with them being 1-0 up, and seeing the scoreline is 2-1 Leicester. I almost had to call an ambulance. I was ready to have a heart attack. And what I didn't understand is the first half, yeah, we were great. It was fine and dandy. We were playing rather well. The second half, it just switched. We just went from being fine to atrocious. Understandably, Leicester City had some fight in them, especially in that second half, which, they had to, really, to try and avoid relegation. And it's just one of them things. They get relegated, but it's through a draw. Not good enough. Not good enough. We needed a win. We needed a win and we couldn't find it. There were moments in that game where, yes, we were obviously trying to find a winner, but players are just not tracking back, especially the subs. They're just not tracking back. Lewis Kumas was one of the players to come on the pitch at half-time. He replaced Bellumi. I'm hoping Bellumi's not injured because he was making an impact in that first half. And he showed nothing. He showed nothing. He showed no work ethic. He can't take on any defenders. He's terrible at dribbling with a ball, trying to get past defenders. There is just nothing about him that strikes to me thinking he's going to create such an impact when he comes on the pitch. He's only like a one-game wonder when he scores for Hull, basically, and that's it. He just doesn't show anything else. Compared to Kyle Joseph, who for some reason keeps getting put on for the last 10 minutes of the match, which makes absolutely no sense. Is it something he's doing wrong in training? Is he not working hard enough in training? Because he certainly works hard enough on that pitch, and he should not be coming on in the last 10 minutes of the match. He should have come on the right wing instead of Kumas, because he definitely would have done something a lot better. And there were certain players in that game who, in the first half, they had a decent game. And the second half, they just went from alright to absolutely terrible. Louis Coyle being one of them. He was dealing with, I think it was Mavadidi down that left-hand side. Fine. Had no issue with him. Second half, he was struggling for his life. He just had no defensive awareness. He had no awareness when he was on the ball. Literally almost gave Leicester City a goal when he gave the ball away because he thought he had acres of space when he was trying to pass it to a Jai when there was clearly someone closing him down. Matt Crooks, who is literally probably the slowest player on that pitch, was working his socks off getting up and down the pitch. You could tell he was absolutely shattered after that match. And even though I do feel he probably should have scored one or two shots from that match, I'm going to say he at least had a good game. Liam Miller had a great game, but we decided to take him off the pitch. No idea why. He got a goal and assist in this game. He was running riots on that left-hand side, and we decided to take him off. The choices of the substitutions really need to be discussed, and they really need to be focused upon, because you cannot be bringing the likes of Lewis Kumas coming on the pitch, who just doesn't make an impact, compared to Kyle Joseph, who will. I was really shocked that John Lundstrom actually started, but then again, because Amir was injured, there was really no one else to put on that pitch. I will agree with Sergey on this, that they shouldn't have risked starting Matazu or Slater, even though I know all of you lot would have really wanted that risk to happen, so it could pay off. But some things, there's risk and there's high risk. And high risk, I know one of those two players would have been injured. Slater did come on that pitch. I can't really say he had a great performance, but due to all the chaos that was going on, I'm not surprised he wasn't going to have a good performance. Honestly, in that second half, it really did look more like Leicester wanted to win that match compared to Hull. I'm just sick and tired of us taking the lead, and we don't look like we want to keep the lead half the time. Because either we hold a 1-0 lead for most of the second half, but we're just too busy sitting back, or we're striving so much for a second goal, but we just get too reckless and just too lazy sometimes, and just way too positive and optimistic in our heads that we don't switch on clear enough to end up conceding goals. From other results, we're going to be thankful that Norwich beat Derby, because Derby were in a position where they were very, very threatening in this playoff race. Maybe they could be out of it. They're still not yet, because they're only 4 points away now from Wrexham and Hull. But Wrexham are now on the same points as Hull because they beat Oxford United 1-0. Such a shame that the U's couldn't flipping draw against Wrexham, but they could against us. And they're now in 6th place because of goal difference. And their last two matches they have to play are Ipswich Town and Middlesbrough. I simply cannot rely on Ipswich and Middlesbrough to get something against Wrexham. I really don't, because we have Charlton away and Norwich at home. There are two games which, on paper, should be games that are easily to be dealt with, rather than two teams who are literally pushing for promotion or fighting for promotion. I've lost all hope and confidence. I was nervous going into this Leicester match. When we were 1-0 up at half time, I felt a bit more confident, positive, optimistic into the second half that maybe we could try and really find that second goal to make it 2-0. But once I saw 2-1, that was it. Even when we did score the equaliser, I lost belief. I lost belief, and it's concerning when a team who have only won one in now 19 games draw against you. I I don't know what to think anymore. Because for Hull City, when it comes down to the vital games and the crucial games, they're just not there. They're just not there to put in a good enough performance. And it's especially in these last games where we've needed something against Birmingham. We needed something against Sheffield United. 2 teams who have nothing to play for, and we've dropped points against them. We've basically lost 5 points in those 2 matches. We've gone 2 out of 9 points from our last 3 matches in games which realistically we should be winning. I think that might be it for the top 6, if I'm being completely honest, because now Sergei is going to be missing the match against Charlton, and Nathan Jones' side are tough at home. Tough. I will be amazed if we get 3 points, and that's all we need now. We need 6 points. I'm not having us saying, oh, we can have a win and then draw the next one. No, we need 2 wins, and I can't see it happening against a Norwich team who just look absolutely unstoppable ever since Philip Clement took charge, and a Charlton team who have, in my opinion, have done well this season to make sure they are going to stay up for another championship season, which they have done. I want to speak more on the game, but I simply can't. There were so many times Leicester were just through on goal in that match, and they were so unfortunate not to be any more clinical. And to be fair, there was a few times where Egan and Ajayi saved us from losing that match. Even Pando saved us from losing that match. And even, that chance John Egan had up the pitch, I don't even blame him for missing that, to be honest, because he shouldn't be in that position. It should be an attacking player that has that chance to be one-on-one with the goalkeeper and score. I'm not having to go to John Egan because I think he actually had a decent performance. I'm full of frustration, I'm full of anger, I'm full of absolute disappointment in what I've seen from the lads, and Sergei will be too. And I will give some credit for Dean Holden for having to deal with the situation of taking over as being in charge of that match for Hull City, because that scenario we were in, my God, I would have not liked to be in his shoes, but that might be over. That might be the season over. And listen, to be honest, the season's been great. It's been great. We've done so well. We've defied all the expectations and odds and even predictions, but I think playoffs are just too good to be true. Depending on what happens at the Wrexham games, we can't focus on them. Have to focus on us. We have to focus on number 1. Anyway, folks, let me know your thoughts on that match. I know there's going to be a lot of unhappy people, and you have the right to be. Yes, maybe we should still believe, but when you look at the form we've been on and the points we are dropping to, the teams we're dropping points to, you have a reason. You honestly have a reason to think that we don't stand a chance at playoffs anymore. If you could make me feel any better, please like, share, subscribe, and up the Tigers.